There we go. So yeah, as I mentioned before, with the nature of this run, even if your PBs are about a minute apart, it is entirely possible to have a fairly close race between two runners. Just because a lot of the run involves encounter-based RNG, especially in Ruins, which we're in now, and also in sort of the late game and core. A lot of time can be made and lost in those areas, so again, it's an open game at the moment, it's anyone's race. Yeah, it's too early to tell at this point. So obviously we go through this part as normal, we have Flowey and Toriel. And I guess for people that haven't seen this game before at all in a speedrunning sense, the runners are mashing through the text boxes using 4 keys, which is the Z, X, right enter, and right shift keys. I don't know why I said right enter. The Z and enter keys advance the text boxes, and the X and shift keys advance the text. And alternating those 4 keys in particular allows us to maximize how quickly we progress through the text. So we talk to the dummy, and now we're up to the Frogget. Frogget we want to kill here because it gets us to level 2 straight away. You want to get at least 20 damage on it, anything less, and essentially you'll be doing a reset at that point if this was normal practice runs. But given that this is a race, obviously no resetting. But both runners got over 20 damage, so there's nothing to worry about there. Scariest part of the run, IMO. Long hallway, being left on your own. So one thing I'll mention now as well, since we're about to get into it, is each area of this game for the Genocide branch has a specific kill count that we have to exhaust before we can progress. So for Ruins it's 20, and optimally you'll want to get Whimsins instead of Froggets. Whimsins are an insta-kill one-shot, whereas Froggets are guaranteed 2 turns. And obviously with Froggets you can get 2 kinds of attacks. You can get a skip attack, which as you saw Potato getting, or you can get a no skip, which as you saw on Ben's screen. So ultimately you want to get Whimsins first, then Froggets with a skip, then Froggets without a skip in terms of RNG. So both runners are about even at the moment. And both runners getting near identical encounters. So the one thing you'll notice the runners doing is they're wall grinding. Basically by holding up and down against a wall, they will walk in that same position up against the topmost wall while advancing the step counter. Oh, first bit of different RNG. Ben getting a Whimsin, Potato getting a Frogget. So yes, with wall grinding we advance the step counter without actually having to move our position, which is very important for this run because the step counter and such is actually a very major component of encounter grinding. So both runners presumably on 8 kills at the moment. Ben leveling up at 9, which is usually a good sign. I think both runners actually leveling up at 9 kills, which is a good sign in terms of RNG because it means you're getting about 5 Whimsins usually compared to 4 Froggets. So Ben actually getting the better end of the RNG deal here. They're already at the 11th kill, going for the 12th. So Potato getting his 11th, and Ben getting another Frogget. So I'd say it's slightly above average RNG for Ben, and Potato, if he gets a Whimsin here, could make up a bit of time. So a bit more mashing here from Toriel. So Ben grinding for the 13th kill here, which you usually do. Getting a frogget. What will Potato get? Potato gets the wins, so they're about even again. So the reason why we do 13 here and then 7 in the triple rock room is it's just more optimal that way, because obviously once we hit level 3 we can actually grind out the second half, and getting the frogget whims or multiple encounters we can actually do more damage to them. So both runners here wanting to get 2 doubles and then a triple, and both runners getting a double frogget to start. So not the worst encounter, but optimally you want to get frogget whims in since it's a 3-turn instead of a 4. So with that frog skip, and I guess with the whims in the first half, last encounter, Potato takes a slight lead. So both runners are at 15 at the moment. If they get a double and triple, they can clear ruins, but obviously when we get to 18 or 17 is where things get kind of interesting. So, okay, Potato got the double first, and Ben got the triple. So Ben's going to want to get a double encounter now, and Potato wants the triple. What Ben doesn't want to get is a single mold. If he gets a single mold here, it's kind of catastrophic, because obviously you don't want to kill it, because getting a single at 18 and killing it means it takes a lot longer for the step counter to go up to 19, 20. So if Ben gets a single, he'll have to flee the single and try again for another, which is going to waste a bit of time. As you can see, Potato's step count going a little bit higher. And he gets the double. So he's going to kill one of the froggets here, and then he's going to kill one of the froggets and then flee the other one, because that'll put him at 18. And Ben gets a double frogget, so he's going to clear ruins with about a... well, not clear ruins, but he's going to clear the second half. I'd say it'll probably be a 755, maybe? Somewhere between 750 and 755. So 751 there, that's pretty good. And Potato with the frog whimsin. So when that music comes up, that's the sign that you've actually exhausted the kill count for that area, and that means you're actually free to move on to defeat the boss in that area. So the next part is just walking through the areas and just normal progression. It's just you get the but nobody came coming up every so often, and as a reminder that hey, no one's here now, because you've basically either killed them or scared them away. Which it's funny, because given we don't actually fight any of the encounters in this area normally, so we don't see Lukes or Mygosp or Vegetoid. So it's more than likely that they've just run away or something, or they've gone into hiding. So normally you can still pick up the pie in Geno, however, given that you get the instant noodles later on when you, depending on if you go for the pan skip or not, or in general I guess if you still want to go for the pan and get the noodles separately, it's just more optimal to not get the pie here, although Potato looks like they're going to get the pie as a safety strat. I say that if you want to get the noodles later on when you get pan, because there is a skip you can actually do where you get the pan and noodles at the same time. Also Riptorial. But also, the other thing is some of the runners actually choose to run with the empty gun, which is another weapon you get later on before you hit core. So sometimes getting the pie might be, in terms of a personal preference, easier for some runners. Well, no, Galactic. When you get to 18 kills, you don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to take the single at 18. You would rather flee the 18. You'd rather flee the encounter and get a double. I'd say it's around a 10-2, 10-3x. Yeah, anything around a 10-30 ruins is pretty good.
That's a wonderful idea.
Yeah. 10-30 or less is usually a good ruins, and anything less than like 10-15 is pretty good. On average. Fixie predicts ruins time incorrectly. Geno edition. Hey, no bully Fixie. So, of course, now we move on to Snowden, and this part of the run isn't as bad with RNG, it's more so the end part of it, since that's where we get all our encounters at. However, usually it can be kind of finicky. Okay, it looks like on Ben's screen we have someone coming up. Mysterious looking figure. And apparently we're going to shake their hand. And it looks like it's Sans Undertale. So, normally in any percent in TPE we'd hide behind this oddly shaped lamp, but because in Geno our character just doesn't give a heck, we just stand out in the open and the pirates is all like, oh, okay, well that's kind of neat. So, first weapon swap of the game, we equip the Tough Glove here because it does more damage. So, fun fact, with this encounter, names are hard. With this encounter that Ben's at now, if you actually don't kill the Snowdrake, it sets the flag to abort the run, since apparently we didn't kill the comedian. Because what happens now is instead of getting Snowdrakes, we get Chilldrakes in our encounters. Also, yeah, what's the bet that both runners have to kill Jerry coming up at the end of Snowden? So here we have Doggo. Now, fun fact with Snowden is Doggo, Doggomy Doggeressa, and Greater Dog actually don't count towards the kill count. The only member of the dog squad that counts is Lesser Dog, which is coming up in a little bit. So you'll see both runners will throw the stick at Lesser Dog, and then they will attack. And it's good to see that Ben didn't do something that I once did, which was actually fleeing or sparing Lesser Dog after throwing the stick. Because, fun fact, sparing Lesser Dog after doing that actually aborts the run as well. Even though it counts towards the kill count, it actually aborts the run, not killing Lesser Dog. Potato going for the 2 attack strat, which is a little bit slower, but not by much. I'm not going to place any bets on there being a double Jerry because I don't want to jinx it. Because aside from being a meme within the game itself, Jerry is a huge pain in the rear to kill because he has a high defense. So, Potato's about a room and a half behind. So we have the dog marriage encounter coming up now. And yes, you want to attack Doggeressa first, because if you kill Doggerme first, Doggeressa's defense goes up and she becomes harder to kill. Or, I think it's offense and defense or something like that. Whereas if you kill Doggeressa first, Doggerme just becomes sad and depressed and he becomes a one-shot kill. So both runners are on 4 kills at the moment, I think. Of course, puzzles are already done because reasons. So yeah, of course, our character is just not really caring at the moment about all these puzzles. We're just walking straight through them. It's just like, I'm sorry, I don't have time for your puzzles, Papyrus. Leave me be. Of course, there we have the infamous ice puzzle skip. So Ben is already a greater dog. Potato is a couple of rooms back in the puzzle room. So again, it's not too much of a difference at this point. It's probably about 25-30 seconds, which is still easily overcome later on in the run. Oh, okay, that was a bit weird. So Ben getting the double dog skip there, but the first one was a little bit weird. It didn't actually proc until the second set of attacks. Oh, Potato got an extra 10 on dog marriage? Okay, I must have missed that, unfortunately. Also, that dog up in the top right corner just hanging out. Yes, I said it. So you'll notice that the runners are going to actually go into the town itself and then go back into the previous room. The reason is, while Sansa's in that room, you actually don't get any encounters showing up. So it's basically like Sansa's blocking us from getting any encounters. So in this grind here, we want to get what we call doubles, because it's with the Ice Cap Jerry, up to 10. And then from 10 to 16, we want to get triples, which is what Ben has now, and what Potato just got up. The reason for that is the shorter wait times between encounters up to 10 kills. It's faster just to get the single ice cap kills. So it looks like after this, Ben will be at 9. And Potato will be at 7 now. So Potato's 8. And it looks like Ben is going to be at 10 after this. So at the moment, Ben is 1 kill ahead. However, the second part can change a lot, because singles now are actually worse than triples, or doubles rather are worse than triples. So, still 1 kill behind at the moment. However, if Potato gets a triple here, then he can make up a bit of time. Of course, Ben now needs 2 triples to clear. Otherwise, yeah. Well, looks like both runners are still getting doubles at late game. Both runners not really getting the good end of the RNG's deal now in this part of the run. Oh, there's a triple for Ben. I think that puts them at 14. Potato, of course, will be at 12. So both runners needing triples to clear, Potato needing 2, Ben needing 1. And it looks like Potato is just not having much luck today with this grind. Of course, both runners will need a triple to clear, with Potato, of course, having to kill Jerry. Yeah, I'll admit it's been hard for me to keep track of the count because obviously switching back between the commentary layout and then the actual Twitch layout so I can keep up with chat. As far as I'm aware, so Potato will be on 14 kills now. And of course, Ben grinding for the last encounter, hopefully. Well, either way, it'll be the last encounter if he gets a triple here, which he doesn't. So, we see 1 Jerry kill, will we see 2? Of course, if Potato does get a triple here, then he'll actually clear it faster. Although, depending on when the encounter actually loads for Potato, it might not matter, but Ben might already be finished at that point. Yeah. I mean, Potato did get the triple, so he's making up a lot of time here. But, obviously, Ben already finishing up in the grind and going towards the boss fight for this area, Papyrus. Yeah, Jerry takes a long time to kill because he has a high defense, and he's just generally a pain for us to kill in general, so we'd rather not, but obviously in some cases, well, it just happens. So Papyrus down, that's the second boss down. So it's probably... Well, we'll find out in a little bit what the time difference is between these two, because it's probably going to be somewhere between 40 seconds and 50 seconds, I think. Or maybe a bit less than that. I'm probably overestimating. So for Ben, we have a 2307 Snowden. Actually, it might only be 30 seconds, because this walk only takes about 10, so... Oh no, that was even less than that, it was 21 seconds. So yeah. At the moment, it's a 21-second difference between the runners, which, again, can easily change back and forth in the next couple of areas. More so core than waterfall, but waterfall can still be a bit finicky if you get the wrong RNG. Yeah, Ben's... sorry. Ben's early game is actually really good at the moment. Like, with Ruins as well, getting a 1030 Ruins is actually good. And... Well, yeah, I mean, even with the Jerry kill, though, it's like... It's unfortunate, but it's still a really good pace for an early game. Okay, so Ben is going for the Aaron kill here, which is a little bit unusual, but... Because until recently it was actually discussed that going for the Washua, if you're going to take one of the mobs here, going for the Washua, and both runners going for the Aaron kill. Okay, so... The best way I can explain it is... If you get the Aaron kill here, or the Washua kill now, since apparently the ladder is actually a bit faster, and then you get the 2 double encounters coming up in the next 2 rooms with the ballet shoes, You ideally skip an encounter at the end, since you'll be at 8 kills going into the second half grind instead of, say, anywhere between 5 and 7. Oh, Ben taking a hit from the spears there, unfortunately. And of course, because the first 3 encounters are scripted in the second half, outside of the Temi, you only have to grind for 2 encounters instead of potentially 3. So it takes a little bit out of that, but again, it was something that only came up recently, that killing the Washua was actually slightly faster. So yeah, if you're gonna do a waterfall early kill, do Washua, not Aaron. Because coming up when we get the ballet shoes, we get a scripted double mold small encounter, but after that, the encounter we get after getting the shoes is actually random, so hence why I'm saying if runners get certain encounters at the right time, then it actually helps them if they kill one of the first 2 encounters. Otherwise, obviously, if they don't get the right encounter, then it just leaves things as normal. Remember correctly, the 3 encounters you can get second half are you can get Washua Aaron, single Washua, single Aaron, or double mold. There's 4 encounters you can get in the one of 4 encounters you get in the second half of this room. Will we see any stick drops? Who knows? Let's find out together. So Ben not opting to do the stick drop. Well, potato. Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. I mean, what? Okay, so Ben gets a single washer with this, so not the worst encounter. So that puts him at 4 kills at the moment, which is going to mean that he'll be at 7 after killing the Temi. So there'll still be 1 more encounter to grind for, but looking at it, oh, Potato getting the double mold, so that's the optimal encounter there. So he'll be at 5. But with Ben's RNG at the moment, what he'll want is he'll either want to flee the first Aaron that comes up in the second half, or if he does want to kill the Aaron, then he'll want to leave his counter at an odd number and hopefully get a Temi at the end. Yeah, that's the thing. There's a lot of routing differences that come up in Waterfall, because some people don't like to kill Aarons because they're 2 turns. Yeah, like there's a lot of routing differences that come up in Waterfall. Even Hotland, because obviously people choose to run pan versus gun and do early pan skip and whatnot. I think actually Waterfall has the most routing differences in terms of based. So yeah, the good thing for Potato at the moment is he'll potentially have 1 less encounter to grind for, but downside is obviously if they get a Temi, then that makes it complicated for them. Whereas Ben, on the other hand, being a 1 less kill, is going to have to get at least 1 more encounter minimum, but if they play it right, it might only be a Temi, which is a quick kill. So we're at the Spears 2 cutscene now, and you'll notice that the Spear's coming up in a certain way because the runners are holding down arrow keys to basically manipulate where the Spears are going to come up. So if you're holding down 2 keys at once, usually that'll basically manipulate where the Spears are going to come up, because that's just how the game works apparently. So we're going to see in the second half of this area whether there's going to be any significant time swapping between the runners, whether Potato's going to gain back some of the time from Ruins and Snowden, would would Ben likely extend the lead that he's already built up at the moment? Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, some runners tend to flee from all the errands because they're always 2-turn kills, whereas Woshua, you know, once you get the shoes, it's a one hit. Mold small, mold bigger, one hits when you get the shoes. There's a lot of differences in Waterfall in terms of what people choose to go for. Oh, looks like we're walking on water, boys. Let's go. Got that one visual skip glitch, whatever you want to call it. So Ben's run has now been blessed. Unfortunately, Potato did not get the same blessing on his run. Okay, so Glad Dummy. Fun fact, if you actually mash too quickly, you can 2-turn Glad Dummy, and I learned it the other day, so yeah. Well, I won't say I learned it the other day, but I experienced it firsthand the other day. Because yes, it's been known. But yeah. And also, Timmy is now dead. So, again, after this Timmy kill on Potatoes end, it'll be 8 kills to 7. So, is Ben gonna kill the Aaron here, or are we gonna flee it? Gonna go for the kill, okay. I mean, it's a good call considering you want to leave your encounter at an odd just on the off chance you get a Timmy later on. But in Potato's case here, taking the Aaron means potentially saving an encounter, but he's gonna flee it, okay. That's actually going to save him a fair bit of time here overall because they're on the same number now. Of course, this encounter being scripted. This race is extraordinarily close at the moment, considering. Oh, Potato getting just enough on the mold big there. So both runners are at 13 at the moment. Oh, Ben getting a mold Woshua. Potato getting a Woshua Aaron, so a little bit of bad luck there for Potato. But he did get his encounter later on in the room, so if Ben's going to move forward... Oh, and Potato flees again, so that's going to put him at 14, I think? Ben is at 15 at the moment, if I remember correctly. It's impossible to 2-turn Timmy? Not as far as I'm aware. So, okay, Potato made up the one encounter, I think. So they're about neck and neck. Actually, no, I think if I remember correctly, I think Ben is at... I think Ben's at 17 now. I've been trying to keep track of it, but obviously without having the counters up and obviously, like I said, flicking back and forth between... Yeah. Yeah, Potato's choosing not to kill the Aarons, which, again... Okay, both runners getting a Timmy there, I think. Yep. Ben is leaving the grind area. Potato, unfortunately, has to get one more encounter. So... Okay, getting a mold washer there, that's a pretty good encounter for Potato. So it's about back to where it was before this area. Oh, they're at 17. Okay. Makes sense. Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, because usually you try and grind as English. You try and grind as close to the loading zones for each room as you can in order to maximize room transition efficiency. Because obviously, if you want to maximize your step counter, you want to be able to quickly transition back and forth between rooms. Also, it looks like Ben opting to not save or heal before undying. Hopefully this doesn't come back to bite him in the proverbial. Although 48 HP is still a pretty good amount of HP to work with. And obviously with the more experienced runners, they may feel more comfortable not having to heal because they're more accustomed to the fight and all the mechanics and whatnot. So we have the Undying fight now, and there is actually a quick kill you can get here, but the catch is you have to get 30 frame perfect hits minimum on top of everything else. So if I remember correctly, there's 14 turns in total before you finish the fight normally, or if not 15. I think it's 15 normal and 14 for quick kill. So you basically have to get 30 out of 42 frame perfect hits in order to get quick kill and get like an actual good amount of damage outside of that. So if one runner gets quick kill over the other, it can actually change the dynamics of the race, because obviously one runner would be gaining about 20 to 30 seconds after the fight. Looks like Potato's not doing too badly at the moment. He's at 8 kills, he's at 7 crits out of 9. Ben doing alright as well. Unfortunately having a near miss there, so it's gonna make things a little bit more awkward. I mean, if Potato gets quick kill here and Ben doesn't, theoretically this could actually flip the lead back. Oh, a couple of near misses there for Potato, that's unfortunate. Also, yeah, fun fact, if you actually get hit during certain attacks from Undyne, it actually slows your attacks down, which you don't really want to do. Potato's still looking fairly good to get quick kill, but obviously a lot can happen in the next part of the fight. Looks like Potato's a lot more consistent with this hit, but again, we'll have to wait and see if one or both runners do get the quick kill. So, okay, Ben unfortunately missing quick kill, so he'll get it this turn, but that's normal kill rather than quick. So it looks like Potato's one good hit away from quick kill and getting a lot of time. Just have to see how this attack pattern goes. Nope, looks like both runners miss quick kill Potato by probably one crit, which is unfortunate. So nothing's changed here, and we'll find out exactly what the difference is after Undyne. Of course, Undyne having the infinitely long dialogue sequence here, or monologue. So 3948, sorry, Undyne for Ben. And Potatoes we'll get to in just a little bit once Undyne's finished her last monologue. So 29 seconds difference at the moment. Now, depending on what choice of weapon the runners go for here, obviously, depending on personal preference. Okay, so Ben looks like they're going for the noodles there. Either not going for the pan skip or not going for the pan at all. Which, again, personal preference, so be interesting to see how that plays out. Will Potato go for the pan skip, or will he go for gun as well? Looks like Potato is going for the pan skip. And it looks like Potato's getting the pan skip. And of course, Potato getting the little OWW at the end of that, the overflow wrong warp. So it looks like Ben is in fact going for the gun. So one of the few occasions we actually get to see a showcase between runners using two different end-game weapons part of the run. So this should be exciting. So of course we get to skip all the Metaton cutscenes slash shows. And of course we go straight to left floor 3, unlike in normal runs where we go to right floor 2, or to any percent left floor 1. I think Potato just went to left floor 2 by accident. We'll wait and see. Oh, unfortunately, he did go to left floor 2 by mistake. And now we have Muffet fight coming up. And we have Muffet dead. And now we have a contender for the second longest cutscene after a boss kill in the game. So, not much should change in timing here. Maybe Potato gains a little bit of time back. Okay, going for the quad kill on Muffet. A little bit overkill, but hey, that's the nature of the run. So yeah, Ben going for the cowboy hat as well. Cowboy hat does give you increased damage, but the downside is you cannot flee. Well, no, sorry. You don't get a guaranteed 100% flee chance on enemies anymore. It's another RNG factor. So now the core grind, and another part of the run where things can be made or broken. The first 9 kills here are scripted, however, so it's not all gloom and doom just yet. So it looks like Ben's having a really good time with the gun. So if this part of the run actually goes the same for both runners, then, well, apart from in the unlikely event of one or more runners dying to sands, usually after core it's fairly straightforward the rest of the run, so I guess we'll see how this goes with both runners and if there's any more lead changes. So at the moment, Potato's an encounter behind, but he does have the astigmatism, which is usually a one turn. Oh, except not quite, unfortunately there, only missing by 10 hit points. Also, it's a little bit faster to go back and forth between rooms up to 23 kills, I think. Just because, obviously, up to 23 kills, it's faster to reset the step counter than just to leave it progressing. Unlucky there. Oh, and Ben gets a gun quad to one-shot the magic, so good job there. So actually, fun fact, with the gun, it's actually, well, in my opinion at least, it's actually harder to hit a gun quad than it is a pan quad, because the gun attack animation is actually faster than the pan in terms of the bars going across the screen. However, in saying that, obviously the gun's actual attack when it comes up is slightly slower than the pan. So it's actually the same time overall between the pan and the gun to attack an enemy completely. But obviously the gun's attack animation is faster, but the pan's actual attack pattern when it comes up on the boss is slightly faster. Sorry, I'm not good with words at the moment, so bear with me. Like, yeah. Speaking of quads, gun quad number 3 for Ben, I think. It looks like it could be going in Ben's favour at the moment, although both runners have been getting singled. To be honest, I've completely lost track of the kill count for both runners, so if there's anyone in chat that have to keep an eye on it, yeah. Looks like Potato getting a little bit unlucky again with the RNG, getting enough magic. But there's not really too much to do commentary on in this part of the run since it's the biggest grind of the run, so I guess if anyone in chat has any questions they want to ask, and I'll try and answer them as best as I can. Oh, almost another gun quad there. Yeah, first 20 race, and we could potentially be seeing an upset here, really, when you think about it. Unless something changes with the encounters for both runners over the next few minutes. It's looking like it could be a bit of an upset here, but time will tell. Looks like Ben's already moving over to the left-hand side of the room. Could that mean that they are in fact at 33 total? Or 31 total, rather. Oh, I was gonna say, you've already missed like 3 gun quads on Ben's screen. There's already been a few. There's already been a fair few gun quads. And there's another one. So that's number 4. I know, I'm just messing. Yeah, there you go. There's one for you. And it looks like Ben's going for the last encounter before Warrior's Path. So, it looks like Ben's going up to Warrior's Path now, and the reason why we do the grind first and then go up to Warrior's Path is the Warrior's Path encounters are all scripted. So rather than doing that first and then trying to grind out encounters later on, we actually do the grind first and get that part out of the way at the end. Oh, pan quad potato. Almost a gun quad for Ben. Like it's almost a done deal, but obviously with the Sands fight we don't really know 100% for sure. Yes, gun quads are a thing. I myself have witnessed it firsthand. Going back to fight Metaton now, and will they equip the shoes or will they leave the gun on? I think the shoes and the gun have a similar attack speed in terms of the pattern coming up. Nope, he's putting the shoes back on. Okay. So, all that's left really is New Home, Flowery Tail, and Sands, since the end part of the run is an auto-scroller that both runners progress through at the same time. Also, long elevator music, everyone. Yeah, essentially it's mashing and then you fight the skeleton. So yeah, we're just mashing our way through New Home, basically the Geno equivalent of Monster Tail. The only difference here is we don't have to worry about unskippable text. Oof, couch. Ah, Potato got caught on the couch. So it's coming down to the final boss fight as to who wins. Because just remember, in this race, anything can happen. No, this is the Genocide ending, so essentially yeah. You basically have to just beat everything in front of you until... So Ben going for the safety save there, definitely, and dropping some items so that the noodles are first up in the inventory. Definitely a good strat for a race. Because obviously if you have to heal at sands, you want to be able to heal efficiently. And having it as the first item in your inventory is definitely going to help. Also, maybe it's the way you're dressed. Can't believe I said the H word. Head. It's a beautiful day. Is it really though? I mean, all of my friends are dead, and now I have to fight you in order to protect what's left. So is it really a beautiful day? I mean, sure, why not? Also, Megalovania time. At the moment, yes, Ben has a good lead. As long as there's no Sans deaths here, then this should be fairly straightforward. However, one thing I've learned is with Sans, never expect it to be as straightforward as it seems. Both runners are not taking any real damage early on, so that's good. Oh, commentator's curse, I say that as Ben gets hit right there. Usually for this fight we have the shooter equipped that's got the fastest attack animation compared to every other weapon. Real knife we don't really need because we don't do any damage since we're always missing. And obviously a stick, yeah, if you don't have a stick anymore it's a bit hard. Unfortunately both runners no longer on no hit pace. Unfortunate. However, both runners doing well HP wise. So Ben going for the continuation here instead of healing, although at 70, oh, I should just not say anything, should I? I mean, they're at 60 HP still, so it's not like it's a tremendous loss, but obviously, you know. Although I guess, realistically, they've got time to do a heal if they need to, if worst comes to worst. So, fun fact with this attack here you see on Ben's screen, you can actually hold down all 4 of your arrow keys at once and it'll automatically do every single attack that comes up in that area. Yeah, I always take more damage in the first phase, like... Oh, Potato had to heal? Oh no. I mean, at the very least, they're both in the second half, so it's... I don't know if Ben will go for the safety heal before the final attack, but if they do, it wouldn't be a bad idea. If they want to play it safe. I mean, if they... Yep, I'm just... Every time I say something about Ben's health or whatever, I always see him taking a lot of damage unnecessarily. I'm just gonna shut up now. Okay, Ben is done with the Sands fight. Potato a few turns behind, I think. Oh, I know his health's fine. It's just every time I mention his health, he'd always take a lot of damage. So it's just like, I'm just not gonna say anything. And it looks like, provided he doesn't wake Sands up early, it looks like it's GG. So I guess what a way to start off the tournament. First match and we already have an upset on our hands. Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I just wasn't expecting it to be so soon, like, because obviously with Potato recently getting the PB and the times being a little bit more widened, I guess. But again, it's an RNG category, so, you know, it's meant to happen. It's bound to happen. Let me just do a quick schedule check because we do in fact have a race in about, well, just under 24 hours from now actually. We have a race tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. EST between Fixie Lol and Snowy Y, the very same Snowy that's in chat at the moment. How does a skeleton even sweat? Good question. Maybe it's props. Maybe he's just got like a prop thingy. Also, yeah, that's a good point. It's actually yeah. I guess another way to call that race tomorrow is the Clash of the Canadians. And also the first match in the Group of Death. So that should be a good one to watch for sure. Schedule is I'm pretty sure there's like a schedule somewhere that we can get access to. Yeah. So yeah. Sans is dead. Crab. Papyrus, do you want anything? Oh gee, I don't know, Sans, do I? So yeah, I guess GG's to both runners. First match under the way. We had a bit of a, I won't say a setup issue, but obviously getting things set up with SRL and obviously that not working between both runners, so having to do a manual countdown. Things went pretty well after that, all things considered. Also, one shot Asgore for the win. Fixie starting beef to get more viewers. Yeah. No, I'm not Papyrus. That wasn't even like, for me at least, it wasn't even like a halfway decent impression, but I don't know. Yeah. Asgore is crabbed and Flower's about to join him. Please, don't kill me. And Flower's getting absolutely obliterated. Just deleted from existence. Holy heck. Also, who drinks tea anyways? Let's be real. Coffee's the better beverage of choice. Maybe that's why Asgore got crabbed like that, because he drinks tea and not coffee. This seems like a pretty dark game. I mean, it normally isn't. This is just one of the optional runs that you choose to do. Like, normally the run itself is fairly innocuous. It's fairly normal and ordinary, but again, this is one of the optional routes you can take. I mean, okay, Snowy, outside of the British, who drinks tea? I wouldn't say it's a sadistic streak. It's more so just what we have to do in the run. I mean, that's the purpose of the run. It's like, you just gotta do it. Fair enough. Thor doesn't drink tea. See? So, all this unskippable text here, and on the next text box, I believe Ben will be done. Yep. And potatoes also done. So we'll hopefully be getting both runners in here for a post-match commentary. Okay, we have potato in here. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I guess GG on the race. Unfortunate result there, I guess, but
Very unfortunate.
I mean, it looked like it was fairly close. It looked like it was fairly close throughout. I mean, I saw a couple of times there where RNG was slightly more favorable, and then sometimes where it was slightly less favorable.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're getting Ben in here for any commentary. But is there anything you want to say about the run, or anything like that you want to add to that?
Not really much. I do want to point out, just for fun here, I forgot to open my my live split layout that had my counter, so I had to do that. I had to count like manually.
Oh no.
So that was interesting, but it ended up going a little better.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello. Oh, I couldn't hear you at first. My audio was just way down.
Okay. Yeah. Anything you want to say about the run?
Came very close to dying on sands, and I was kind of worried, but dropped down to 1 health at one point. But overall, it was just kind of a standard run. I mean, core was far worse than I wanted it to be. I think it was 5 singles.
Yeah, there are a lot of both runners, so.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
I got like 4, I think.
I saw 0 triples, and I got like 4 or 5 singles.
Yeah, same. My core was awful.
It balanced out with my ruins, though, because I got something like 11 Whimsons.
Oh, wow, yeah.
My ruins wasn't amazing either. I mean, it was okay, but I lost time to grabbing the pie for safety.
Yeah, I went for the instant noodles.
Oh, well, I got both. Okay, I'm not the only one.
Yeah, I just went for the
noodles for, I think. Early pan.
Oh yeah, I definitely grabbed the pen.
Yes.
I didn't use empty gun.
Yeah, I'm not good with the gun.
I used to be primarily neutral glitchless, so I learned the gun much better than I did the pan. And then I tried practicing the pan, and I was like, wow, I'm just bad at this. I'll just stick with the gun for the tournament.
Yep.
So.
Use whatever you
I got both.
Yeah.
Because I get.
So I guess GG to both runners. Congrats being on the win. Both.
All right, thank you.
Anything else you want to say before we wrap things up?
I don't have anything now.
Yeah, I don't have anything either.
Okay, I guess just to conclude, tomorrow afternoon at 4:30 p.m. EST, we have Fixie Lol versus Snowy Y in the Battle of the Canadians. Yep, I mean, I don't know what channel it's on yet, so I'm sure there'll be announcements coming up when it's decided. Congrats being on the win. And yeah, with that, I guess it's goodbye from myself and from the runners, and we'll hopefully see you tomorrow.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, I guess just to conclude, tomorrow afternoon at 4:30 p.m. EST, we have Fixie Lol versus Snowy Y in the Battle of the Canadians. I don't know what channel it's on yet, so I'm sure there'll be announcements coming up when it's decided. And yeah, with that, I guess it's goodbye from myself and from the runners, and we'll hopefully see you tomorrow.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.